But they say that your mother is your first love. But in my case, my mother was my first heartbreak. What's good, Caption Gang? We back. What a different video this time. Usually it's the gaming. First of all, time out. Shout out for hitting 50,000 views. But now I think we now at 60,000 now. Keep showing love, y'all. I appreciate it. This is a different. I know y'all saw the title of this video, so obviously I don't know what y'all in for, but this is kind of my story. I've been battling a lot of mental health issues lately. Uh, some bigger than others, but I feel like it's time for me to connect my platform and my career with my mental health because mental health is important and it don't get talked about enough. And I've always been private about a lot of the things that I went through in life, but um I think it's time if I am going to be a public figure and you know there's a lot of stuff that's about to start happening that I need to be more open with and I need to be more open with talking about it, excuse me, because then I think it's going to be easier for me to let go of some of the pain. So the title of this video is, you know, the beginning of my story, which is starts with my mom. Please bear with me because I don't really talk about this, but it's time because I started losing things that are important to me, and I realized there's a lot of trauma and stuff that plays into the fact of why I am the way I am. But they say that your mother is your first love. But in my case, my mother was my first heartbreak. Now, I say that to being said, I want to let this be known right now. I love my mother with all my heart. Me and my mother have a great relationship now. I have sisters, like siblings and stuff like that. So I don't. This is no shade or hate towards my mother because my grandmother and my father never raised me that way, and I don't feel that way. There's no hate to my mom, but this is just I need to express this. So, um, my mother left me when I was 6 months old. Whew. Yeah, that's harder to say out loud. Okay. My mother left me when I was 6 months old. Um, she left me with my grandmother and my father. My grandmother and my father raised me. Shout out them. They like the all stars. They the real MVP. Um, so she left me when I was 6 months old. She told my grandmother she was going to the store, but then I guess she never came back until I was 5. I was 5, my fifth birthday. She came back, and um, then I remember not seeing her again until I was like 8, 8, like 9, I would say. A little bit right before my grandmother had passed away, which is her mother. Um, so 8 and 9, my mother started to come around consistently for like 4 years, but it was 2 times a year. So my birthday's in January, and y'all know Christmas is in December. So my birthday, January 26th, I would see her on my birthday, and then I wouldn't see her again until Christmas. So it became twice a year that I would see my mom. And there were times where, through my life where like my childhood years, my mom would call or say that she want to come get me or say that she want to see me, and she didn't show up. And I do understand that my mother was pregnant with me when she was 17, 18. My father was 18 years old, so it was hard. I was more so stern and hard on my mom about it because I was like, yo, my father's this young and he ain't walking out on me. But you leaving me, like, and it put a lot of hatred in my heart. Even though I was taught never to hate my mom, as I got older, I started to. It started to affect me more. Like, honestly, in my high school years, because like I said, I'm sorry, I hate to jump off the boat, but yeah, she came around between when I was 8 and the age of like 12, my birthday and Christmas, and then I stopped seeing her again. I was only seeing her twice a year, but then I just stopped seeing her altogether when I turned 12. She didn't start coming back around really, really fully until I was 16, like 16, my sophomore, like junior, senior year of high school, like junior, senior. Now, before this, granted, I would invite her to my shows. I would like reach out to her and stuff like that, but she just didn't show. Now, like I said, no shade to her, but I'm just telling y'all my story, what I went through. Um, I got to a point in my life where I started dating. So, I'm 16. Like, what I'm saying? I'm in, those prime years of your life where you really start like really engaging in with a partner and stuff like that. Like that's when I'm really learning to who I am as a person, where I'm going next. You know what I'm saying? So like all of those days, I began dating, but I went in with a mentality that um, my mother broke my heart. My mother left me. The person that brought me into this world, I don't trust any women at all. Nah, why would I trust you? What are you bringing to the table that's gonna open my heart to trust you? Not realizing that's trauma. I'm thinking this is just how I'm supposed to be. But really, it was a defense mechanism because I was so scared to let people in my heart because my heart was broken so early on. And this is a message for all my brothers out there that's really battling mental health, like, and really like that got abandonment issues, and it causes a lot of insecurities. Because I was insecure for a minute. Like I'm not insecure anymore. In certain aspects, I am. Like I have abandonment issues too. And when you start to really sit down and do things like this, like really sit down and acknowledge the fact that you have a problem, it helps more. I'm telling you, they really do. And that's where I'm at now. I'm in the stages now of letting it go because of how it's affecting me now in my adult years. And it takes a long time. Like, look how long it took me. I'm 25 years old and I'm now just sharing with the world that I didn't have my mom in my life like I wanted to. Um, and what made it worse was like when I found out why. Like, there was no actual reason. It was more so of she was young, and that's all I kept getting, and it just wasn't enough for me. It wasn't enough for me at all. Like I asked my nana, I asked my father. My father would get upset because my father, like, yo, it don't matter. Like we here, which I get, you know what I'm saying? Because like my father and my nana, they the real MVPs. Like I said, they held it down. I wouldn't be the man I am today without them. So those are my rocks, and still to this day, they still there for me. Like when I need them and stuff like that. So they all stars. But I got to a point where it was eating me up inside. Like it was eating me up. Like I'm telling you about my early years of college, like my last year of high school, like that switch transition, like it was eating me up. And then I ended up meeting a girl. Now I had relationships in high school that didn't work out just because I was the way I was, and I like you know what I mean. Like I was young and I didn't care, so I didn't care about hurting people at the time. So this was the first real relationship where I actually like really cared about somebody. And I didn't know how to handle it because I got a good woman at a time where I was a damaged boy. I'm not even gonna say man, I wasn't a man yet. I was a damaged boy. And it caused that relationship to fall apart. Now, it lasted a long time, but the way that I acted was judged off of the way how I viewed women at the time. And I know that about myself. Um, I say all of this to say, y'all, forgive people. Like, not for them, like, but for you. But like I forgave my mom already. Now I have to let go. And that's what this video is for me. This is me letting go because it's affecting me now. Like even still, like I had somebody that was like really important to me and I lost them, you know what I mean? Because of how I like how I really like my bad. I had to help my nana. Um, but no. I lost someone not to like death or anything. Like I'm gonna get into the grief. That's gonna be another video because I'm gonna be doing these weekly. I think it's important to really dive into mental health. But I lost someone due to my behavior, um, and my pain that I was holding on to for real. And it was not fair to that person, and they didn't deserve it. And definitely want to publicly apologize to that person. I mean, I have, now and stuff like that, and I'm dealing with it as it goes on. But I realized a lot about myself, and I realized that I was still holding on to not trusting people. And what it felt like was this person was getting too close to me and diving deeper and deeper into me. And I've never had that before because I've never been loved like that. And that's where we mess up, y'all. You know what I'm saying? As men, so there's a lot of stuff that we're missing, a lot of tools that we're missing. You know what I'm saying? And we need to acknowledge that before we could be better for a woman. And I learned that. I'm learning that as I go on. Like I said, I ain't perfect. You know what I'm saying? And I know what y'all always see, which is why this video is good. Y'all always see that the glamour, like yo, Jamari doing his thing. He really into it, like. But there's a lot that you guys don't see, and that's what this side is. This is me sharing my story, and this is the start of my story. Now I'm gonna be doing these depending on how well this video do. Even still, I'm gonna still drop. Like I'm gonna keep doing these because it's time for me to let go a lot of this trauma and really really let it out. And I'm gonna tell y'all straight up, if what's going on in your life and in your heart is not good for you, go get help, bro. Like I'm telling you straight up, ain't nothing wrong with going to therapy and going to get help. And it's really for my homies that's from the hood too, for real. Nothing wrong with going to get help, bro. And realizing that what you've been through in life, not normal. For real. Like, and I learned that. You know what I'm saying? But that was a side of me that's very, very hard to share. And like I said, this is no shade to my mother at all. I will always love my mother. I love my mother. And our relationship is dope now. Like, shout out to her for real. And, just shout out to my family in general, for sure. But this was important to tell because a lot of people don't know this about me. And a lot of people don't realize that that's why I am the way I am. That's why I'm always so independent. That's why I'm always so, I'll handle it. That's why I'm always so, if I feel like you're getting close to me and I feel like you're getting too close, nah, you gotta back off, or I got it. I'll figure it out. But I had to learn. I can't do that to certain people, especially people that love me. Like people that love y'all, let them be there for you because they really love you. It's the truth. Trust me. I know it's hard, bro. Like I know it's hard. Not even just bros and sisters. I know it's hard. I know it's hard, but they're not everybody in the world has evil intentions. There are good people in the world with good intentions. And I feel like the world needs to know this. You know what I mean? And this is important, you know. But that's the start of my story. The start of my story. This is the first video. And part two is going to be the start of my career. And then part three is going to be the start of my grief. So there's a lot of me that you guys are about to see. And like I said, we still going to be, the gaming thing is definitely still going on. But this is important right now because there's a lot of stuff at stake for me. And my life is about to change. And I know I want people in it. But I can't say that I want people in it if I push them away. And to the people that I did hurt, that I did push away, I am truly sorry. I am. With that being said, thank y'all for listening. I appreciate y'all. Caption Gang, we out.
Yeah. 26 on my 30 Q color. You know shit like 2 colors.